Judica County is brought to you by Whitaker and Hamer, attorneys and counselors at law, your law firm for life.
Judica County Radio, your host, Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, managing partners, Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm, practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. They have offices conveniently located for you in Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay-Varina, Gastonia, and in Morehead City. And if you are facing a legal situation, have a legal question, you can always call the firm and get some answers. 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. Leave your contact info, briefly what the call is about, and an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can email your questions to the show. We'll answer them on a future broadcast. info@judicacounty.com. We're dialing it in on wills and estate planning, question and answer.
What just to as a jumping off point, we were talking about what was the name of the band for Showbiz Pizza?
Rockfire, something.
It was like the Express or
let's call it that. Rockfire Express.
What was the Chuck E. Cheese band called?
It's funny you mentioned that because we are obviously very, very much in sync right now because I had looked up the Chuck E. Cheese band and they're called the Munch's Make Believe Band.
Oh, I remember.
And by comparison, there's no comparison, man. There's no comparison. Inferior in every single way.
The Chuck E. Cheese band?
Yeah, and let me give you some of the names. First of all, I would like to petition that one of us, I don't care who it is, me, you, Morgan, somebody legally change our name to Duke LaRue. Yeah. I want someone to do that.
Well, you're a Duke fan. I think it should be you, Joe.
It's spelled Duke, but it's spelled like D-O-O-K, like
perfect.
Duke LaRue. Duke LaRue. Anyways, these are the names of the Chuck E. Cheese, the Munch's Make Believe Band. You've got, let me find it. I had it. And then I started digging deeper because I was like, man, this is terrible.
Well, Munch's was like a scary looking Grimace guy.
Yeah, he looks just like Grimace. Yeah. How do they not get sued for that? That's insane to me. But it was like Mr. Munch, Pasquale, something another, Chuck E. Cheese, which apparently stands for Charles Entertainment Cheese. And what a downgrade, man.
Yeah, the Showbiz, I think you make up a band like that, you gotta have fun with it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm very disappointed. This isn't, bring back, I never experienced Showbiz Pizza because I feel like I was robbed of a crucial development point in my life. And maybe I'd be doing something amazing right now instead of sitting here.
I bet you I spent $10,000 worth of Showbiz tokens playing that 4-player Ninja Turtle game at Showbiz Pizza.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so they've got those now too. It's not that expensive. You can buy a 4-player, the original arcade machine, put it in your house. You could do that.
I could.
You've got 3 kids, man. You and your 3 kids could do that, or 2. Maybe you and 2 of your kids you like, and me. We can make the other one watch. You'll get a turn later, Mikey.
All right, here's my next question. Again, we're focusing on really wills, estate planning in general, obviously. Which really includes, talking about power of attorneys and trust and things like that. And that's not our focus today. Our focus really is just the will, even though that's one piece of the estate planning question. But here is the next question I had. And I thought it was interesting. I don't think we've ever talked about this on the program, but I see it all the time. I see where people have done it, or they ask me, or they want to do it. But here's the question. I want to disinherit someone. Do I need to leave them at least $1? So their question is, they want to disinherit someone. Do they leave them out completely, or do they have to? Because I think that's a big urban myth. Maybe that's true in some states, or maybe, but do I have to leave them something? Can I completely just leave them out? So disinheriting an heir.
Yeah, so no, you don't got to leave them anything, man. Legally speaking, you can disinherit someone. You can expressly state, I want to disinherit this person. And what you're doing in essence is you're treating that person as if they predecease you. And now you can just disinherit them. You can disinherit them and their descendants. Like, again, if you're crafting your estate plan, you have flexibility, right? Like, that's the beautiful thing about it. So if I hate I love my kids, right? But let's pretend like I'm you or someone else, and I hate this kid. I don't like my kid. But I like my grandbaby that this kid gave me. I like the grandbaby. He can't help his dad. It's terrible, right?
Right.
I can disinherit one level. I can disinherit both levels. Again, you've got maximum flexibility. Now that you say that, and you talk about the fact of, do you want to give them something? there is what the law allows, and then there's the practical reality of the fact that a will can be contested. Right?
Sure.
And so, when we talk about a carefully crafted estate plan, there's nothing, there's really little you can do. There's things you can do, but still, one of your kids, if you disinherit them, they could potentially go after your death and try to contest your will and say you lacked capacity, you lacked, whatever grounds they want to try to contest it on. So the important thing in drafting is just to be explicitly clear about what you want to do. And so there's really very little difference between giving somebody $1 and then disinheriting them, right? Like there's practically speaking, that person's not going to be very thrilled either way. And they could arguably contest either way.
I don't want to interrupt your thought because I think I know where you're going there, but I will throw this out there. If you leave them $1, they're involved. Like if this will gets probated and you go down to the clerk's office and they open up an estate file and you leave them $1, that means they're going to get all the notices that go out in the estate, right? So they'll be able to see your accounting of what's in the estate, what other people are getting. You might need them to sign a receipt, right, to get the estate closed out. A lot of times clerks want to see that, your executor, whoever's in control of your estate, they have to report to the clerk, right? So in this instance, nothing was in trust. Your will is carving up your estate. Someone's in charge of it. They have to go downtown and open it. And a clerk is going to require a bunch of filings. One of the filings is a 90-day inventory that's going to list everything that's in your estate. There's going to be a final accounting where the executor disperses, right? So if 2 kids are getting it 50-50 and your third kid gets $1, they're going to have to talk to that kid. That kid is a beneficiary, so you're making them all have to work together to get your estate closed out. And I'm sure the kid you disinherited and left $1 isn't going to be super easy to deal with.
Man, all that for $1. Good Lord.
So it's definitely easier, I think, if you're going to disinherit someone. Like Joseph was saying, we usually are explicit.
That's you should be explicit.
Yeah, you've definitely got to say you're doing it. So in your will, I mean, it can technically be a sentence. I'm going to disinherit kid number blank or kid whoever.
You don't even love them enough to give them a name.
But usually we add language. So there's the instance like, hey, I've really had to help this kid out. He's pretty much gotten his inheritance while I'm alive. I don't want him to get anything else. Or this kid moved to Canada and doesn't talk to us, and I don't want him to benefit.
And that's good. That's the more, obviously it's legally. We talk about legal sufficiency, which is just stating I'm going to disinherit, legally sufficient. The more of those details that you can put in a carefully drafted manner, the more unassailable the will be.
Sure.
Like that?
I like
That's
that word.
like unfettered. Right?
Yeah, I like that word. We're really using our vocab.
Man. We're keeping them coming.
We've seen people like, you may love your I'm going to use this example because this came up not too long ago, but you may love your daughter, but your daughter may marry.
I do.
Your daughter may marry someone you despise.
I can tell you that's exactly what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
And so there's things you can do too. You can leave your daughter things, or if the spouse is that bad, you can skip and just set up a trust for the grandkids, like their kids, or you could put her money into a trust so that it's harder for a spouse to get their hands on, put somebody in charge of it. But there's all kinds of ways to exclude people. But yeah, you definitely don't have to leave them $1. That's not a law, nor has it ever been in North Carolina.
We specialize in petty estate plans, right? Like you can be as petty as you want to be in administering this estate.
100 pennies. Yeah. But you can do that, and you don't have to leave them $1. You just really detail oriented, because you're those kind of folks, the kind of folks that get disinherited are usually the kind of folks who will contest things if there's any.
Yeah, those aren't usually the nice reasonable
that just
kids,
let it
right?
go.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Judica County Radio, we are going to take a short break. Remember, your hosts are Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, managing partners at Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm, practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. And again, we have offices located Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay, Farina, Gastonia, and in Morehead City. If you are looking at a legal situation, if you have questions about what's going on, you can always call the firm and get answers to those questions. The number is 800-659-1186. That's 800 659-1186. Leave your contact information, briefly what the call is about, and an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can always email your questions to the show, info@judicacounty.com. We'll answer them on a future broadcast. We've got more question and answer when it comes to wills. Don't go anywhere.